The first 555 run of the season was a huge success. More on that, plus Terry Seitz joins us for Monday with the Mayor, and Jim McFall and Whitney Hall discuss this Saturday's Garden Gate Jazz Festival tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin with a Mount Vernon man sent to the hospital after a Saturday evening accident. Just before 7:20 on Saturday night, DuBois County Sheriff's deputies were called to State Road 56 just west of County Road 180 North. Sheriff's deputies say 52-year-old James Heckman had been going westbound on State Road 56 when he blacked out for an unknown reason. His pickup truck then went left of center and off of the south side of the roadway, where it went down an embankment and hit a tree head-on before coming to rest in a ditch. Heckman was able to safely get out of the truck, according to deputies. He was taken to Memorial Hospital to figure out why he had blacked out and for treatment of minor injuries on his hand and foot. Damage to Heckman's pickup came in at $15,000. State Road 56 was down to one lane for nearly an hour while the accident scene was cleared. Authorities are investigating an off-road vehicle accident in southern Pike County over the weekend that sent an Evansville man to the hospital. Just before 8 o'clock Saturday night, Indiana conservation officers were called to an area of the Interlake State Recreation Area southeast of Spurgeon where the accident was reported. Conservation officers say 34-year-old Stephen Hazlitt Jr. and a 28-year-old Tyler Francis, both of Evansville, had been riding an ORV along trails at Interlake SRA when the vehicle turned over after going off the trail. Authorities say the driver overcorrected after the vehicle went off of the trail. Hazlitt and Francis were both thrown from the ORV. Francis was taken to St. Mary's Hospital in Evansville for treatment of head injuries and lacerations on his face. Meanwhile, Hazlitt sustained head injuries but refused medical treatment. Conservation officers say alcohol may have been a factor in this accident. The crash is still under investigation. Hazlitt and Francis were not wearing helmets or other protective gear at the time of the accident, according to authorities. DuBois County Sheriff Donnie Lampert says something needs to be done to address ongoing issues with mental health locally and statewide. Lampert says mental health is often an overlooked problem, especially with those who go to jail, as many of them struggle with drug and alcohol addictions and they aren't getting help before being incarcerated. Lampert says that lack of help is often the first thing he sees when someone is brought in.
They're caught up in this world to where they believe that everybody else is wrong about drugs and alcohol. They're using the drugs and alcohol to self-medicate. When they do that, they forget about their problems. So they fix the problem they have temporarily with something that's not working. Actually ends up making it worse. Well, then they go through, a lot of them will go through detox, or they'll go through that guilt, and then you have to build them back up because everybody needs to have some good self-esteem in them.
Lampert says the current system is flawed, as help in the form of programs like work release is more reactive. Lampert says having the reactive programs is good while somebody is in jail, but without proactive efforts, these programs often don't translate.
When they get back out, and we talk about recidivism all the time, okay? Why is recidivism? Because back here, before they went to jail, there was nothing there for them. And then you have that, you feel bad about yourself, you feel guilty about things, and you're trying to understand how you can make yourself better. But you can't understand it without help.
Lampert says he has gotten several calls from local people who are asking for help before they wind up in jail. He says the problems often begin when those people look for help, but they either need an insurance card or have to pay up to $2,800 to get into a mental health center. Lampert believes there is a need for more accessible mental health centers, including possibly putting one in DuBois County. He says though mental health centers are the best solution, state funding will likely be the biggest hurdle for that happening.
There's got to be some type of facility that where they can go 24/7, like an emergency room, but they don't have to go through the emergency room, where they can get help and someone help them through this. What happened to all that money that was being pumped into the state hospitals? Where did that go? If we invest in our people and we help them to get better, guess what? We're going to be money ahead.
Currently, the closest mental health center to Du Bois County is Southwestern Behavioral Health Care in Boonville. Lampert says the centers would fill a role once played by state hospitals, all of which lost significant funding in recent years. And finally tonight, the start of spring marks a chance to get outdoors, hang out with friends, and even get a few workouts in. Friday afternoon, Huntingburg residents got the chance to do all of that as the first 555 run of the year was held. Nearly 300 people turned out for Friday's event. Of course, this is the second year for the 555 runs. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner launched this circuit last year. More than 900 people took part in the 555 events that were held in 2014. Spinner, who actually ran in this event himself, says this year could be even better.
We didn't know what to expect at all last year, so now that it's got a little publicity and we got a lot of people that came back this year and said, I'm really glad that we're doing this, and more people are spreading the word. So I would expect we'd have pretty consistent, maybe a little bit more than last year.
93 people earned t-shirts last year for completing all 5 of the 555 events. The t-shirts are still being given away this year to anyone who completes each of the events once again. Several entities have partnered with the city for the 555 runs. These include OFS Brands, Far Best Foods, Master Brand Cabinets, and the St. Meinrad Arch Abbey, among several others. All right, we head into break with this video of some test dummies at Holiday World getting the ride of their lives. Next weekend, of course, is the big opening of the season for Holiday World and its newest roller coaster, Thunderbird. Monday with the Mayor is coming up after this.